All right, happy Friday, July the 24th, and we've got 5 games on this first 5 board that we're going to get through here today. It's going to start with the Angels in San Francisco, the Yankees dropping into Philly. We got Colorado in Milwaukee for a late afternoon opener. We've got Cincinnati rolling into St. Louis, and we've got Seattle in Arlington to round out the board. Hey, it's Joe Raineri, WagerTalk.com. Let's dive in on this Friday, shall we? And we're going to start out west in that Bay Area here with the Angels and the Giants here. And the Giants are sending Logan Webb to the mound, and the market opened them up as a minus 190 favorite in the first 5. And is it me, or is that a heavy price to pay for a team that's now lost 5 in a row and just got swept out of Kansas City? And that tells you that this number has almost nothing to do with the Giants, and it's all about who the Angels are running out there. And that would be Grayson Rodriguez and his 8.23 ERA on the season. Now, the numbers underneath tell us, listen, he's been a little bit better than an 8.23 ERA, but not nearly enough to change the fact that he's still one of the worst arms that you'll see all night. He can't find the plate. Walks, free runners, traffic every single inning. Now, Webb, he's a different animal, and not in a great way so far this year. He's got a 3.87 ERA, and that number is actually telling the truth because the numbers behind it land right about there. That is what he is at this point in his career. He's a guy who gets you into the 6th inning and doesn't beat himself. By the way, his last Major League Baseball start was about 6 days ago. He threw 100 pitches against Seattle, so he's good to go. And by the way, he has always been better at home than on the road at Oracle. Why? Because it's a ridiculous pitcher's ballpark. Now, if you look at the Angels' bats over the last couple of weeks against right-handed pitching, they've been the bottom third in the league. Yeah, I know. Shocker. And over the last week, they've managed to score just about 2 runs a game. That's it. 2. And they just got shut out 1-0 by the Cardinals in their series finale, even though they took the series and won 2 out of 3, which, by the way, tells you how bad the Cardinals' offense has been. But here we are, because what keeps me off the favorite here, even though San Francisco is close to a $2 favorite to open, is their bats have been just as putrid, especially against right-handed pitching over the past couple of weeks. The Angels and the Giants, they can't hit. You got a 61-degree night in the Bay Area at first pitch. The wind, by the way, is always blowing out to right field at Oracle, so don't get enamored with wind there in San Francisco. And let's be honest, does anybody want to run to the window to lay 192 with a team that hasn't won in its last 5 games? And I'm not laying the half a run with a lineup that's been every bit as cold. I'll attack the piece I'm actually sure about, and that is that the Angels have to figure out a way to score on Logan Webb in a cold ballpark, in a place that he has always pitched better, with an offense that's barely putting up 2 runs a game. I like the Angels team total under in the first 5 because they are going to have to hit to go over the 1.5 runs that are posted. And right now, well, they can't hit water if they fell out of a boat. All right, game number 2 here. We're going to head to Philadelphia for the Yankees and the Phillies. You got to love that. The Phillies sending Jesus Luzardo to the mound, going up against the Yanks here. And the Phillies did open up a slight favorite. New York plus 100, plus 103. Philadelphia around minus 125 in the first 5. And listen, Luzardo has been absolutely awesome for the Phillies this season. In fact, they have won his last 10 starts. He posted a 1 ERA in July, 3 starts. He's only given up, 2 earned runs in 18 innings. He's been phenomenal. And the Yankees, They were going to put Will Warren out there, but made the change. They're countering with Cam Schlittler instead. And listen, Schlittler's gone 123 innings this season. He's got a 2.20 ERA, and that is exactly what the underlying numbers say he is. He doesn't walk anyone. His swing and miss stuff is electric, and he's been the Yankees' #1 pitcher all season long. Now, the Yankees lineup against left-handed pitching, especially over the last couple of weeks, nothing to write home about here, kind of middle of the road. And actually, over the last week, they're only scoring about 3 runs a game. Jazz actually starting to heat up a little bit here, which is good. But Philadelphia, to me, is the strange one because they've scored, on average, 4.6 runs a game over the last 7 days. So the box scores look good. But against right-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks, they've been near the bottom of the league. So I've got 2 elite level starting pitchers and 2 struggling lineups. And New York's been ordinary against left-handed pitching this season, especially since Judge went down. Luzardo's a lefty who has dominated just about everyone this season. So if you put those 2 things together, I'm on the first 5 under here tonight. I think this is going to be a good old pitcher's battle between Schlittler and Luzardo. I don't see a ton of runs being scored in the first 5 in this one. All right, we got more games to get to here tonight. Before we do that, I do want to ask you, of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the WagerTalk TV family. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos with us. We do them each and every day for you guys. Knowledge is power. It's also profits. And we try to give you as much as we can, jam-packed into one page on YouTube. So hit that like and subscribe button while we get ready to head to Milwaukee. Why? Because the Rockies are coming to town taking on the Brewers. Now, this is the late afternoon game. This will be the first game of the day. And Milwaukee opened up as a -235 favorite in the first 5 against Colorado. And that's about as chalky a game that you are going to get on the board here tonight. Now, normally, that's where I get off this ride. But today I'm staying on, and bear with me here, because it's all about who the Rockies are handing the ball to. Sugano is going for the Rockies, and his 4.76 ERA might be the kindest number on the board here today, because everything under the hood says, yeah, he's been a lot worse than that. And we're talking about closer to a 7 ERA pitcher here than what his current number is. Why? Because he doesn't strike anybody out. And he's been getting a shorter leash each and every time he goes to the mound. Down around 77 pitches, I think, in his last start here. So we all know the Colorado bullpen is not good. They're going to hope for some length out of him, but I don't know that they're going to get it because Milwaukee's countering with Shane Drohan, and he's got a 3.20 ERA, and it's quite honestly one of the honest numbers on the board here tonight because that's pretty much the kind of young arm he is. A really good young arm, in fact, for the Milwaukee Brewers. Striking out, a hitter an inning at least. He gets you where you need to go. It's a good young arm for this Brewers team that you lose Woodruff, you gain Drohan. It's crazy what the Brewers do when it comes to young pitchers. The bats for the Brewers, that's the reason I'm still here, because against right-handed pitching over the last couple of weeks, they have been a top 10 offense in baseball. And they've scored better than 4 runs a game on average over the last week. They've won 4 of their last 5. They're swinging it as well as anybody in the league right now. No reason to doubt the offense of the Brewers. Colorado, well, their lineup isn't exactly dead either. They're kind of right in the middle against left-handed pitching over the last couple of weeks. They've scored close to 5 runs a game in the last 7 days, though they did get shut out 8-0 by Washington in that last game they played on Wednesday. But that's kind of why I'm not laying the half a run in this one either. I don't want to lay 235 through 5 innings. That's not how I want to make money. What I want is the piece of this puzzle that's actually mispriced, because we have a top 10 lineup against a guy who doesn't miss any bats. So I'm looking at the Brewers team total over in the first 5. Over 2.5 runs at a pretty reasonable price here at minus 135. All right, a couple more games to go here, including the Reds at the Cardinals. This is going to happen 8:15 Eastern time. And St. Louis opened up around a minus 160, 165 favorite in the first 5, which means the market has the Cardinals as the better side here. But the Cardinals have lost 4 of their last 5, and they just lost yesterday 10-6 in a makeup game versus the Red Hot Diamondbacks. And they've got the worst offense in baseball against right-handed pitching over the last few weeks. So exactly what are we paying for at that price? Dusty May goes for St. Louis, and I'll tell you right now, he's not the problem for this team. His ERA, 4.78, but he has pitched a lot better than that. The underlying metrics, I see him around a high 3s ERA pitcher, not closer to a 5. He misses bats. I think the ERA is the ugliest thing with his numbers on the board. And he's going up against the Reds' Rhett Lauder, who's got a 5.75 ERA, and that's what he is. Let's be honest. He's a 6 ERA pitcher who walks too many batters. His last start, he gave up 8 earned in 2 1/3. Just awful. He's, I think, the problem here for the Reds. But this is what's actually going to decide this game. Cincinnati against right-handed pitching over the last couple of weeks has been a top 5 offense. Ellie De La Cruz, Tyler Stevenson, Sal Stewart. Guys, they've been crushing the ball. St. Louis against the right-handed pitchers that they have faced over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, dead last in the league. And the Cardinals, again, who played last night in a makeup game, Cincinnati, they had the day off. So the Cardinals are favored on the strength of the arm of Dusty May. And the arm is legit, don't get me wrong, but a good arm doesn't score runs for you. The first 5 run line doesn't ask Cincinnati to win. It asks them not to be behind after 5 innings. And I'd rather have the better offense by a mile plus the half a run than a dead last offense that has to lay a price. Reds plus the half a run in the first 5, trending right now at minus 115. Let's make St. Louis prove it can score before we lay 160 with a team in the first 5. All right, we got one more game to go here. We're going to talk about the Mariners and the Rangers here tonight. But before we do that, want to let you know I've got not 1, but 2 top plays up and ready to roll over at my page at WagerTalk.com, WT.buzz/JR. We did it again. Our top play yesterday, guys. Hope you guys jumped on and smashed it. The 5% best bet the day before. It's been a heck of a week, guys, if you've been following. And certainly hope that you'll go grab these 2 top plays here tonight because I love both of them. Heading into this weekend, I think we have huge value on both of these games here tonight. You can grab them both for one low price. $29, get both of them. Normally $25 a piece. Guys, do not go individual games. Go get the package, either $29 or jump on board with the buy 3, get 3. 6 days, all access, every top play, including 5% best bets for $69. That is available on my page at wagertalk.com. That's the way to do it. Again, building bankroll right now because football will be here before we know it. So hop on over, WT.buzz/JR, and let's get it going into the weekend as we get ready. We're going to head out west. Well, not west, I guess, depending on where you are, to Arlington, because Seattle and Texas getting ready to go here tonight. Little American League West battle, and pretty much opened up like a pick'em. I mean, Seattle a slight favorite. I saw Seattle minus 120 this morning. Texas minus 105, somewhere in that ballpark. And the problem is Seattle is running out, I think, the best pitcher on their team this season in Bryce Miller, who has a 2.27 ERA And when you dive into the metrics, guys, that's real. He almost never walks anybody. Now, he does only have 10 starts on the season because he was hurt. So, he hasn't been available to them all year. But when he has been available to them, he has been lights out. His last start was 7 days ago, so he does have an extra day of rest here. And this is a guy that has huge swing and miss potential, which is fantastic. The problem with him is that Seattle just hasn't given him any run support. That's the problem. But he has limited every lineup for the most part that he has faced. So he is one of the better pitchers on the card here today. And you got Mackenzie Gore for Texas, the lefty. Now, he's got a 4.8 ERA, and that's selling him way short because the numbers say he's much closer to a mid to upper threes pitcher than closer to a 5 ERA pitcher. Why? Well, he does miss plenty of bats here. So this isn't a good arm against a bad one. It's a very good arm against another very good, pretty good arm in this matchup here with Seattle and Texas, because neither lineup gives me a flag to grab and run with here, because Texas, middle of the pack against right-handers. They've hit lefties better than right-handers over the last couple of weeks. And Seattle, they're the same mediocre team, less than mediocre, especially against lefties. They don't hit for power against lefties. They barely hit lefties at all. And you've got a Texas team that actually has scored 4.5 runs a game over the last week. But Seattle, barely 4 runs. And both clubs just lost 2 of their last 3 games. So the total opened up at 4 through the first 5. And with these 2 arms, I can understand why. I think the simpler read, though, in this game is the price that you are getting on the better pitcher. And I think it's legit here. I'm talking about the market thinking this game is a coin flip. But Seattle in the first 5 with Miller, one of the best arms on the board tonight at minus 120, 125. I think that's a small price to pay to back him, especially if you're going full game. Hint, hint, guys, because that Texas bullpen is atrocious here. But I like Miller. I'm high on Miller. I think it's going to be a lower scoring first 5, but I would much rather lay the 120 with Seattle and Bryce Miller than to take it with the lefty there in Gore for the Rangers. And there you got it, guys. We got first 5 games there for you on the card. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to tell me, what is your favorite first 5 pitching matchup here tonight? Is it Luzardo and Cam Schlittler? Do you like one of the other games? Drop it below in the comments. Certainly appreciate you taking the time to hang with us and interact. Of course, hope you like these first 5 videos as we try to approach it from a different angle. We want to try to take variance out of games, and that's what the first 5 markets allow us to do. So give you a pretty good look here at the lineups as well as the pitching matchups, the starting pitching matchups, to see if we can find a couple of edges. And don't forget, over at my page, WagerTalk.com, I've got 2 such plays here tonight. 2 games that I absolutely love. We've been rolling it this week. I think the value is tremendous on this Friday night card. Go grab both of these games, WT.buzz/JR. Just $29, and consider getting one of those 3-day plus 3-day, 6-day all-access packages for the price of a 3-day. This way you never miss a top play from now over the next 6 days. Get everything this weekend, guys, for one low price. It includes any 5% max bets that might be coming up, just like the one we had on Wednesday, which those of you that jumped on board cashed with us, and we certainly appreciate it. So there it is here, guys, your first 5 lineup. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the weekend. Hope you'll come back and join us again on Monday for another edition of First 5 here on Wager Talk TV. Good luck.